So my name is Thor Gutierrez. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Sirona Technologies, where we build modular direct air capture machines, so machines that remove CO2 from the air. Yeah, basically you have big fans that blow air through our filter, and the filter is going to absorb the CO2 molecules while the rest of the air is going to go through. And at some point our filter is full of CO2, and then we can heat it up, and the CO2 comes out, and we capture that CO2 at that point. So we've got a pipe with 95% purity CO2 that comes out, which we can do whatever we want with.
Yeah.
And typically what we'll do is we'll give it to our partners who are then going to inject the CO2 on the ground at like 800 meters deep into these rock formations that are going to react with the CO2 to turn the CO2 into rock itself. And that basically stores the CO2 permanently, so we can sell carbon credits to companies who want to compensate for their own emissions. We will find companies that buy our carbon credits everywhere in the world, because you can emit CO2 in one place and then capture it in another place. That will have a neutral impact on climate, and they don't have to be in the same place. And so, for example, we build our machines in Brussels, where we're based, and then we deploy them to Kenya or to the Middle East or to Europe, but we can sell the carbon credits to anybody on the planet. And so we're here in New York to meet with a bunch of corporates who are thinking how to get to net zero, and they'll need our help. I think it's super important, especially in our space in the carbon markets. There's been a lot of trust that has been abused in the past, and there were scandals with carbon credits that were worthless. And in this low trust environment, these in-person meetings really helps bring back the trust to some extent. And so it's important for us to meet the people in person, to tell them about what we do, and see whether they want to work with us. And it's the same thing for corporates, but it's also for family offices. We're very interesting to meet with family offices, for example, who have to fly private because they do a lot of different things in their professional lives, but they would love to compensate their emissions of their private jets, and we can help them with that. And so, yeah, we love to speak with family offices that think a lot about climate, because they usually have a lot to do to help us, and so we can get good partners. In 2026, what's interesting for me is this rush for energy that we're seeing, driven by the AI boom, specifically the rush for clean energy in some places, and how this may impact other companies like us who need a lot of energy. And so, for example, there are a lot of competitors that are in the US, and it's becoming harder and harder to find energy in the US. It's super interesting for us to be outside in Kenya, in the Middle East, or in Europe, where it's not as dire just yet, but I'll be interested to see whether that will happen, and whether the AI megascalers are going to go outside of the US and going after our own energy, right?